Hello again, it's me. So now we're going to go over your next set of homework questions. Alright, so let's start with number 1. The table shows the cost of downloading songs from an online music store. The regular cost per song is $1.29. The sale price is 99 cents. Greg downloaded 5 songs at the regular price and S songs at the sale price. His total cost was $9.42. Which equation can be used to find the number of songs Greg downloaded at the sale price? Alright, so let's go ahead and just write out what we know. We know that he did 5 songs at regular price. So we'd multiply this by 5. And he did S songs at the price of 99 cents. So we'd multiply this by S. So hopefully my 5 and my S do not look alike. Alright, and then the total cost, so that's an equation, is $9.42. So it'd be $1.29 times 5. So let's work that out. 129 times 5. 14. So we have 645. So it's 645 plus 9 times S, because we don't know what S is, and that's going to equal $9.42. The answer is H. Alright, number 2. A group of friends is eating lunch at a restaurant. The total cost of their meal is $52.50. They have a coupon for $10 off the cost of their meal, and sales tax of 6% is added to the cost after the coupon is applied. What is the total amount that they owe, including tax? Alright, so for the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take $52.50 and we're going to apply the coupon of $10. So they get $10 off, so that's $42.50. Next, we have to include the sales tax. So sales tax always increases your price. Alright, so what we do is we have to put a 1 in front of it. So we're going to take 6%, write it as a decimal, and that is 600ths. Alright, so it's going to be, we're going to multiply this by 1 and 600ths. 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15, carry the 1, 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Move over, cross out everything you don't need, or we have a row of zeros. Alright, and we're going to move over a third time, or 2 times, sorry. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4. 0, 0, 5, 10, carry 5, 4. Number of decimal places 4. So their bill is going to be $45.05. Now remember, anytime that you're dealing with money, you always have to round to the hundredths, since we're going to round to the nearest penny. Number 3. The graph shows the altitude of an airplane as it descends in preparation for landing. What is the constant rate of change in altitude? Alright, so the constant rate of change for this question is going to be our change in y over our change in x. Alright, so I can't do y over x here because it does not go through the origin. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply just pull 2 points and then make a t-chart and just find the change in y over the change of x. So the first one I see is this right here. So let me just write this down. X, y, 0, and 2,400. Alright, the next point I see is 2 and 2,000. So all I have to do is do the change in y. So 2,000 minus 2,400. Well, that's going to be a negative, so that's negative 400. And then I'm going to do 2 minus 0, which is 2. So the change in y, negative 400, over the change in x, which is 2, negative 200. So the answer is F. Number 4. Which is not a solution of negative 3r minus 16 is less than or equal to negative 1. Alright, so all we're going to do is just solve it. and see which one would not work in my number sentence. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get r by itself. The first step would be to add 16. So I have negative 3r is less than or equal to negative 1 plus 16 is 15. Alright, next step, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Because I'm dividing by a negative, my sign flips. 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. Alright, so I'm looking for something greater than or equal to negative 5. Well, the only thing that's less than or equal to is D. That would be an incorrect number sentence. Negative 6 is not greater than or equal to negative 5. So again, the answer is D. Alright, moving on. Number 5. The circumference of the circle below is 56 and 52 hundredths. Which ratio would you use to estimate the value of pi? So really it's just asking to give the ratio, what does pi equal? And these are one of the ratios that I told you that you definitely had to remember. So if you remember it, or if it's on your math chart, you know that pi equals C over D. So what I'm looking for is the circumference over the diameter. Well, it did give us the circumference, which is 56 and 52 hundredths, and the diameter. Given right here is the radius. So in order to find the diameter, I would just take 9 and multiply it by 2, because the diameter equals 2 radiuses. All right, so that's going to be 18. So it's 56 and 52 hundredths over 18. The answer is 8. All right, number 6. The carver's basement has the dimensions shown below. The family plans to have wall-to-wall carpeting installed. How many square feet of carpeting will the family need? All right, so the first thing you need to know is that a shape that I know? Hopefully your answer is no, because that is not a shape that we know. So what I'm going to have to do is break it up into 2 different shapes. All right, so the easiest thing that I see is to put a line right here. All right, so what I have is a rectangle, then I have a trapezoid. All right, so for the rectangle portion, I know rectangles are length times the width. And so this is going to be my width, my length. So I would do 48 times 22. So let's work that out. 2 times 8 is 16. You carry your 1. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And the same thing again. Multiplied by 2, 6, 15, 10. So that's the first one, the first part. Now we have to work the trapezoid. Alright, so the trapezoid, so formula for area of a trapezoid is A equals B1 plus B2. Sorry, that is not right. A equals 1/2 B1 plus B2 times H. Alright, that's the correct formula. Alright, so let's figure this out. So my base 1 and my base 2, remember your bases are the lines that are parallel. So it's going to be this line here and this line here. Those are my parallel lines, so those are my bases. So the first base is, I'm going to write 10, and the second one is 22 because it's congruent to this over here. Alright, and then now I have to find the height. If you remember, the height makes the right angle with it, so this is my height. And the way to figure that out is I just need to subtract 56 minus 48, which is 8. Alright, so the height is 8. So then I have 1/2 times 32 times 8. And remember, this can be multiplied in any order once you've added your bases together. So I'm just going to do 1/2 times 32, which is 16, times 8. And 16 times 8 is 128. And then I'm just going to add that here. 4811. 1,184. The answer is B. Number 7. A rectangular garden measures 10 feet by 12 feet. A sprinkler covers a circle with a diameter of 4 feet. If the sprinkler is in the middle of the garden, which equation estimates the area that is not being directly watered by the sprinkler? All right, so let's draw this out so we can see it. So I have this rectangle here. And right in the middle, I have a sprinkler. And this sprinkler is basically, it's just going to spray out in a circle. So let's say that this is the diameter, or this is the radius, and it's just going to go in circles like this, right? So what that means is it's probably going to cover about this much for the lawn. So what doesn't get wet is probably this over here. So the way to find it is to find the area of the rectangle minus the area of the water that the sprinkler covers. All right, so let's do the area of the rectangle. So we know that that's 10 by 12. So we know that it's 10 times 12, and then I'm going to subtract the area of the circle. So area of a circle is pi r squared. So we're going to leave, or pi is 3.14, and the radius from the problem is 2. How did I get 2? Because the diameter is 4, so half of the diameter is the radius. So this would be 2 squared. Well, 2 squared really is 4, so this would be 3.14 times 4. And the one that matches that is G. Number 8. Volume, or V, equals BH, is the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism. Now remember, that's the generic formula. That's not a formula that we're able to use. We have to be able to break that down. All right. The volume of the prism below is 144 feet. What is the measure of the missing side length? All right, so instead of using BH, what we should write is volume equals length times width times height. And then plug in what you know. So I know that the volume is 144. The length is 6. The width is 3. The height I don't know. 144 equals 18 times h. And then here I just divide that out. So 18 into 144. 18 goes into 144. 6 times 18. Hold on, I think I did that wrong. That is not right. It's not 6. Alright, let's see here. 18 into 144. I think maybe, let's try 8 times. 4. There we go, 8 times. Alright, so that doesn't match, so my answer would be not here. Okay, moving on next. The arithmetic part. Alright, I have a decimal in my divisor, so I have to move it. So if I move it once on the outside, move it once on the inside, it goes straight up. Alright, my lines. 73 into 7 won't go, but 73 into 74, 1 time. 73, 1, bring down the 5. 73 into 15 won't go, 0. 0 times 73 is 0. 15, bring down your 8. 73 into 158, maybe twice. Alright, so when I multiply, I get 146. When I subtract, I get 12. Drop your 9. 1 time, which is 73. When I subtract, I get 56. Drop your 0. 73 into 560. 7. Right, 1, 49, 51. That's a 5, 1, 9, 4, 49. All right, so 112 and 17 hundredths. Good job. All right, 35 is 25% of what number? So whenever you have something like this, you're going to have to set it up in a proportion. That's probably the easiest way. There's other ways that you can do it, but I think the proportion is probably the easiest way. So we know that percents always go over 100, 25 over 100, and set that equal to, now the 35. You have to try to figure out, is the 35 the part or a whole? Now because it says 35 is 25%, that's the giveaway that it's the part. So it needs to go in the numerator. All right, and then we'll just go ahead and work this out. So 100 times 35 is 3,500. And we'll divide this by 25. 1 time 25. You get 10, drop a 0. 4, 100, a 0, drop your 0, 0 times 0, it divides out evenly. 140. Any questions? I hope you did not say yes, because there's no way I can answer them right now. All right, let's move on to the division of fractions. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17, 17 over 8. I'm going to go ahead and change it to multiplication and flip it in the same step. All right, so 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 1, 4, 17 over 12. So if you QRD that, you're going to get 1 and 5 twelfths. All right, next. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So 3 halves times 3 over 1. Multiply straight across, 9 over 2. The answer is 4 and 1/2. I didn't QRD that because, I don't know, I just didn't. But just divide it out if you need to, that's okay. Alright, subtraction. Common denominator is 12. How do I get from 4 to 12? Times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. I cannot subtract that. Borrow. The 8 becomes a 7. This becomes 17 over 12. All right, when I subtract that, I'm going to get 8 over 12 and 4. I can simplify this by 4, so I'm going to get 4 and 2/3. All right. Number 14. Okay, I don't know why this comma is there. Just ignore it. I'm sorry. It should not be there. All right, so 926 decimal 766. All right, so we need to add a 0 here. 0 from 6, can't do it. Borrow from the 4, it's a 3. This is 10. 10 minus 6, 4. This is 0, 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. Borrow. Regroup. 10 minus 7 is 3. Borrow, regroup. 9. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then 10 minus 9 is 1. Or you can just regroup there. So 139 and 374 thousandths. All right, let's add. We have 17,080 and 96 hundredths. I'm going to go ahead and put my decimal up here because I know that that's where it would be. And then 6 and 9 tenths. I'm not going to add that 0. You definitely can if it holds your place value. You're more comfortable with that. 18, 13, 18, 3, 15, 10, 4. So I have 405,383 and 86 hundredths. All right, so this concludes the lesson. If you have a question, comment, concern, leave it in the comment section. I will do my absolute best to answer it so that way I can make sure that you understand. All right, until next time.